Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are on the final ride of the Can-Am Sea-to-Sky. There's so much to talk about. I'll tell you what, let's hop back into my driveway before I left from this ride and see some of my thoughts on this. We are saying goodbye to our long-loved friend, and that is the 2024 Can-Am Sea-to-Sky edition. And I want to do this, a very big special thanks to BRP for allowing me to be an ambassador and ride this beautiful machine. It is the absolute flagship of the Can-Am line. It is the Roadster Tourer Sea-to-Sky edition. If anyone is on the fence about pure quality and pure beauty and comfort on a touring machine, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot top the Can-Am Sea-to-Sky. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it costs. It won't be any more comfortable, and it will not meet your needs in touring any better than the Can-Am Sea-to-Sky. And that, my friends, is a guarantee. You know, the styling of this thing is absolutely beautiful. The very first time I saw it, in particular at this color, and I saw it at an unveiling when they first came out with this model in Atlanta, Georgia in late 2023, I believe it was. This thing stole my heart. The color combination, this Vegas white with the Sea-to-Sky, with the leather in here. I love the color. Everybody knows I'm a sucker for white vehicles. You could see it. I've got a white car. We have a white van. I do have a black truck, but I also have my white Can-Am Spyder also. Let's talk a little bit about the Sea-to-Sky. First off, I've been washing it this morning, so you might see a little water dripping here and there. I've been drying it off, but you know how it is when you're doing things, you miss a little spot here and there. I'm going to go back before I return this thing and make sure I don't miss anything. But I want to say that the styling cues on this thing are absolutely perfect. Everything about this machine I like a lot. The wheels, the color may not pick up on the GoPro, but they're this bronze metallic. They're beautiful. And it matches the bronze metallic on the covers of the engine on the side of the Spyder itself. These pieces right here, you can see they're the color that matches the wheel, and then the black. It looks absolutely stellar in person, and I'm going to tell you that Can-Am did a magnificent job in styling this thing. The TFT display is absolutely second to none. It looks great. Everything about it I like. It's just absolutely beautiful. Whether you're looking at your phone, your CarPlay, radio, media, whatever you're looking at, it looks great. At night, it's dark, and at daytime, it's got the white background if you have it set to automatic. You can set it to whatever you want to set it to as well. And we don't want to forget our creature comforts. This is how you raise and lower the windshield. This is how you turn your heated grips up and down. This is how you turn the driver seat heating up and down. The passenger, of course, is not left out in the cold. You've got a heated grip for these right here to keep their hands warm. And additionally, you have heated seat that is controlled by the passenger. An aftermarket item that I put on here it's made by Can-Am BRP, Can-Am On Road, is these armrests that slide out of the way like that for you to get on. Also, the backrest comes down, and I had no problem getting Coach Vic on the Spyder when she chose to ride. The storage capacity on this thing is absolutely massive, as one would expect. Ample room in your side saddlebags, room for 2 large helmets in your back bag, which is absolutely incredible. This bag I have had stuffed with so many things, it's unbelievable. You also have a USB port right here. It's lit up in here. This thing works great. I love it. It's been wonderful. It's quick and easy to remove. These are things that I got for the new model that I'm getting ready to go pick up. Obviously, the front is just absolutely huge. You can reach your arm way down in there. And this compartment will also hold a large full-face helmet with other things in there. You know, to even insinuate that I won't miss this thing would be a massive understatement. You know, this is my dream motorcycle. I'm going to tell you, this is the one that if I could just went out and bought something that I was going to tour this beautiful country of ours, it would be on board a Can-Am Spyder Sea-to-Sky edition. And the next step down, which is really more of a step across, quite honestly, is the Can-Am RT Limited, which are absolutely spectacular machines. Same power plant, same wheelbase, same braking, all of that. They're wonderful. You're going to get all of your creature comforts on the Can-Am RT Limited that you're getting on this. You're going to lose the comfort seat, the backrest from the factory, the badging, the color, the wheels. There's a lot of things on the Sea-to-Sky package. You can go online and look at that to see the difference. But performance-wise and overall, your overall comfort, you are not compromising. I'm telling you that the RTs, which RT does stand for Roadster Tour, these are touring monsters, and you would expect them to be. They're not cheap, and they are really, really nice. You get what you pay for. I'm just going to say that. And I don't think Can-Am under-delivers on this at all. I know there are those who want to debate that topic, but in a guy who shops around and has motorcycles, just a few in my garage right now. I've got a 2023 Harley-Davidson Heritage. I've got a 2022 Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro. Over at my son's house, I've got an old beater BMW, and I also have my 2019 Can-Am Spyder. All of them are unbelievably expensive. If you're going to buy a new Heritage, you're going to spend close to $30K by the time you trick it out. If you put anything on it, you're going to spend $30K by the time you're out the door. The Triumph Tigers, you're going to spend $25,000, $26,000. They're expensive. Everything costs money. When you start looking at a flagship tour, that 30 to 35 is certainly not out of the fray. And when you start looking at the Harley Davidsons, you better bring another checkbook, because 30 to 35 ain't going to get it if you're buying new, and that's a fact. In fact, I'll tell you, I've seen a ton of used Harley trikes that are way more than this Sea-to-Sky is brand new. That's not putting Harley down. I'm just, those who want to debate price and say it's not a good value, I'm just going to say you're wrong. It's great value for what it is. And if you're going to use it and you're going to tour, you will not regret it. The power plant is the 1330 Rotax. It's smooth, it's deliverable, 115 horsepower. It is not a barnstormer, back tire burning out thing. It's a tourer, and it does well. Are you going to want to do 90 miles an hour on the interstate? I would say you don't want to do 90 anyway, but that 70 to 75 to me is the perfect zone for any motorcycle, and this motorcycle does very, very well in that area. So what is BRP going to do for us? Well, it's going to be a change, that's for sure. So I'm going to get on this thing and I'm going to ride it for a little while longer before I go pick up the new machine. Well, give the video a big old thumbs up, share it with your friends, all that jazz. But that is my thoughts on the Can-Am Sea-to-Sky. It is an absolute 5-star touring machine. It is the beast. It is the one that you can cover continents on without reservation or hesitation. It is absolutely wonderful. Am I saying this because I'm an ambassador? No, I'm not. I'm saying it because I believe it to be true. I have a Can-Am Spyder. Mine is an RT. It's not the Limited. Mine's the base model. And I'm going to tell you, that thing is a touring monster. I've crossed this continent twice on that thing. Atlantic to Pacific Ocean and back, and Key West to Maine, mile marker 0 in Key West and mile marker 1 in Fort Kent, Maine, with a paralyzed wife pulling a trailer, and that thing was absolutely killer. It was amazing. There it is, my thoughts on that. All right, let's get on this thing, go for a ride, and go pick up a new machine. But I'm going to say there could be a little tear welling up right there. I'm going to miss the Sea-to-Sky. I'm going to love what I get. I'm going to guarantee it's going to be amazing. But it's different. It's way different. And this Sea-to-Sky, it is cush, baby. It is cush. All right, well, welcome back. Huh? I had quite a bit to say, all of it good. Is there anything that I don't like about this thing? Well, quite honestly, there are things that, you know, I go, okay, this could be a little better, but there's nothing that I dislike. Okay, I guess that would be the way I would put it. So what are things that I think could be a little bit better? One of the things I think is the fit and finish, mainly the finish, the paint. There are a couple little spots where my boot scuffed it when I was getting on and off that I felt was just a little too sensitive to the scuff of a boot. and others that I have known who've complained about that. So it's not just a one-time thing. This is something that is a recurring thing. Now, I don't know if it's the finishes over plastics as opposed to metal, you know, where plastic flexes. Either way, I would like to see that resolved, because on something, you know, this expensive, you want your paint to look good for years and years. Now, obviously, you can see that this thing looks great. There's a couple of spots. It's right back by the passenger peg. It's something that, you know, would I come unglued if this were mine and it had those little spots on it? No, I wouldn't. But it's one thing that is a place of improvement. What about anything else? You know, I mean, I really try to think about things I don't like about it, and I can't, and the reason is because it has a purpose. You know, I found my special purpose, as the jerk would say. But you know, this thing it's a tour, and it does that so magnificently. It's hard to really put it down. It also is a great commuter. If you wanted this as opposed to a car, you could commute it. Now, there was a guy, he since sold his Spyder. It was Spyder Chris was his name. Now he's like, I don't know, he changed his name because he sold the Spyder and he's like doing a bunch of camping and stuff. But anyway, you know, he did it, and he lived up north, like where it was like brutal cold, and he toured all year round. I mean, he rode all year round, so it can be done. Would I want to have just purely a motorcycle for my daily commute? No, in the pouring down rain, hurricane season and stuff here, I'd prefer to have a little shelter on those days. But I would say that 9 out of 10 days, I would just ride this if I could. And I do. I ride this thing a lot just to go from here to there. If I'm going to go to the hardware store, if I'm going to go to the grocery store, this thing has plenty of storage for me to do all that stuff. So it's never a problem. I'd say the biggest problem here is the heat. You know, there are days our heat index is 110, 115. In those days, man, you're sitting at red lights. You just ain't enjoying it. You know, you ain't enjoying anything outside. You can sit in the shade and you're smoking. That's just the way it is here. If you'll notice, there is a little orange light on right there. I'm sure that people that don't make it this far in the video will be going, hey, what's the orange trouble light? The orange trouble light is my rear cargo door. There's a sensor on there. The cargo door is closed. I checked it. But the cargo door is closed, but there is a little sensor, and I had a temporary fix on there. And because I'm returning it to the dealer, I took my temporary fix off on there because they want to be able to do permanent fixes. And so they'll make the adjustment. It was too easy to give a little temporary fix to where you don't have to look at it. And then when you open it, it will show it actually open. And when you close it, it will show it actually closed. There you go. So anyway, so I took my temporary fix off. I'm going to have to look at that for the next day or so until I get this thing returned. The Sea-to-Sky is a big machine, and it stops unbelievably well. That's another thing you've heard me talk about. I look forward to just seeing how good anything else that I might get will stop. Because it's vastly different than this. You know, I've had such a good time with this machine, and really have mixed emotions about letting it go. You know, one of the things as ambassadors, you know, people go, well, you ought to buy it. You ought to buy it. That's not an option. You know, that's not really... These are fleet vehicles, and so us saying, hey, you know what, sell me that thing at a great price, that's just not how it works. That's not part of what we do. You know, they allow us to ride and critique and analyze and scrutinize, but the machine belongs to them, and so that's just part of it. But would I love to have this, you know, in place of my 19 sitting in my garage? I would, man. This thing is, whew, this thing is freaking nice. And I am going to miss it because it is smooth as freaking buttermilk, man. It is unbelievably smooth, and I love it. I'm looking forward to getting what I get because I'm curious if it's going to meet that Jones that's inside of me that goes, man, I really would like to fill in the blank. You know, I want to be able to tour more. I want to be able to do this more or that more. I hope it will meet my needs, but we'll find out. We will find out what it can and cannot do. But this thing here, man, it is just freaking comfortable. So is there any other critique that I have? Well, I would love to see the fuel economy better. That's been something that I've said. You know, you look at some of the other machines that are out on the market today, they're getting the 40 to 45 miles per gallon, and this is getting the 32 to 35. So 10 miles per gallon, certainly when gas prices go up and down like they're known to do, regardless of why. And so, you know, to be able to get an extra 10 miles to the gallon, you know, every 10 gallons, that's 100 miles. That's significant, right? So I'd like to see, you know, a change in that, whether it be taller gearing for the interstate, you know, make your sixth gear more of an, I'm going to use the old person word, more of an overdrive, right? Where you can cruise along at 75 at 3,400 RPMs, 3,000 RPMs, 2,800, whatever the perfect power band. And you know, BRP has the ability to look and go, at this range, this is our peak fuel economy. Well, here in the States, man, when we're on interstates, if you're not doing at least 70, you're going to get run over. And so, you know, to be able to do 75, 80 miles an hour, in Texas, speed limit is actually 80 in areas. So you want to be able to wind this puppy out and be able to get good mileage, not have to slow down to 68, 70, you know, in order to get reasonable mileage. So we've talked about fit and finish. We've talked about gas mileage. Is there anything else? Well, you know, I've had zero problems with it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, when I say zero problems, I mean zero. I know that there are people who've had air suspension fault issues and, you know, different VSS type faults. I have not had any of that. None of it. This thing has been stone cold, absolutely dependable. I haven't had to put a battery in it. I haven't had to do anything. And I've had it for a couple of years. So, you know, now there was a lot of time that I wasn't able to ride, you know, due to my daughter's, you know, illness and the eventual death, that I was not able to ride. But that said, I still did thousands of miles on it, and it never let me down. And one would think that certainly around wintertime, when she was sick, and then the last month or two of her life when I couldn't ride hardly at all, that coldness here, you know, we get in the 20s at night, it would have killed the battery, but it never did. And I didn't have it on a tender, so it's done very, very well. It's never given me a problem. It's never run hot. It's never overheated in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The fans work perfectly on it. I've ridden it in brutal heat. I've ridden it in brutal cold. I've ridden it in downpours, and it's just performed flawlessly. Is there anything that I would think that is like an outstanding point where I go, man, that is what makes it so amazing? Well, I can think of three, actually. There are probably many more than that, but I can think of three. Number one, I'm going to say, is the braking. The braking on this thing, it is absolutely an example of what good braking should feel like. And anyone who's ever had to emergency stop or shut it down, so to speak, this thing stops. It stops well. I mean, better than anything I've ever ridden, regardless of 2 wheels, 3 wheels, or 4 wheels for that matter. This thing will shut it down. Those massive Brimbos on the front, and the way that this thing has been designed, the way the weight shifts forward, you know, because you get a certain amount of dive, all that is built into this thing. There's a lot more than just going, okay, well, it's naturally going to push forward, you know, it's naturally going to dive. There's science that goes into that, and I'm going to tell you, BRP has nailed that. And so anytime they look at changing an engine or changing the weight of something, I understand that they're going to have a hard freaking time topping the braking of this thing, because it is unbelievable. The second thing that is outstanding is the comfort, just the overall comfort. There again, if you're looking for the rattle bones and all that stuff, you're not looking for this. If you're looking for prestigious, smooth, classy, nice, wonderful feeling, you're not going to feel beat up at the end of the day, this thing is it. Not to say that it doesn't have magnificent styling cues. I like the way it looks, but that's always a debatable point, right? Whether it looks good or not. People are going to argue with that. All right. So what's the third thing that's outstanding? Obviously storage capacity. When I tour on this alone, I've got ample space for everything. I carry computers and cameras and backpacks and chargers and discs and tools and that, and you know, and if Coach Vic comes and we bring her wheelchair, I have room for everything pretty much on the Spyder, and then her wheelchair will go in the trailer and maybe an ice chest or whatever. But we have room for all of our personal stuff in the Spyder for 2 people, and that's touring. I mean, that's weeks of touring. That's not a day of touring, that's weeks of touring in all kinds of weather. So the storage capacity is just magnificent. All right. Well, those are my closing thoughts on the Can-Am Spyder Sea-to-Sky. This is the 2024 model. I just can't say enough about how much I like this machine. It is absolutely 5-star. It is the gold standard as far as I'm concerned for touring. There are those who would differ with me, and feel free to differ with me down in the comments section. I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions. It is important that we have this exchange of ideas. I really want to know your experience with the Spyder, if you have one, or if you've test ridden one, or what you want, or what you think it can provide for you. So we're saying goodbye to the beautiful Sea-to-Sky. Oh, I'm a poet. Look at that. I'm going to slide over here. I have a feeling that U-Haul is going to have a hard time starting up this hill. Watch him. He'll go faster than all these cars. You know, you got a 50-50 chance, and if you're me, you always get it wrong. But yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on the touring prowess of whatever you ride, whether you think that it's that this would compare to it or not. This is a channel that is not closed-minded. Love the exchange of ideas and information. But that's everything I have for you. I got nothing else, y'all. You know how I feel. I've been nice and open with you about it. The good days and the bad days. The likes, the dislikes, the wants, the regrets. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to miss this thing. I'm going to miss it big time. All right. Well, I don't think you want to sit at a red light in 85-degree weather. So, I know I don't want to sit at a red light in 85-degree weather. Actually, it says 75, so I don't want to sit at a red light in 75-degree weather. It feels hotter than that with that sun beating down, I'll tell you that. Heat index is a little higher than 75. When you're moving, it feels great, but when you stop, it ain't so great. It's 100% humidity. It rained yesterday, and it's yucky. Well, there it is, the fun, the excitement of the Spyder and what it's provided for me for 2 years, and also a little bit of tearful separation it's going to be, because I am going to miss the creature comforts of it, but also with the exciting anticipation of a new Can-Am 3-wheeled vehicle. It is going to be amazing. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. You're going to get a lot of information here on what I get. You're going to learn just as I am, because we're going to start out with a seat of the pants, because what I'm getting, I've never ridden one, and it's going to be amazing to just get on it for the first time. I just want enough of a briefing to where I don't kill myself, which should be nothing. How to start it, that's all I should need to know. Everything else, I just want to share my seat of the pants with you, and then I want to give you breakdown week by week by week, every single thing about it, whether you'll like it, whether you'll love it, whether you'll hate it, or anything in between, so that you can make an informed decision as we learn together. All right. Well, there you have it. I got a few more miles to make here, so I want you to do me a favor till next time. Yes, you go out by the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you ain't having fun, baby, you are most definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon. Well, then you'll see what I'm going to be on. It's going to be good. Red light, what do you say? I say stop right away.